Hi everyone, it's Shannon. Welcome back to my channel. So today I have this video on a classic fringe set. So if you would like to see how I got this look, just keep on watching. So I already have all of my nail tips laid out by size, and I'm using my KDS nail glue. When it comes to sizing the nail tips, you always want to make sure that you pick a nail that fits your finger perfectly, or one that's slightly larger than your finger, because then you can file it into shape just to guarantee a perfect fit. Using a nail tip that's too small can cause cracking, or it can cause the nail to pop off, and you don't want that to happen. Now that I have all of my nail tips applied, I'm just going to cut them down to my desired length. And I'm going for a really short square look, just doing something a little bit more natural. Now that I have them all cut to my desired length, I'm just going to shape them up a little bit just to prepare for my acrylic application. Now that I have all of my shaping done, I'm going to do my prep and prime. So I do use the Lush nail system. So you do 1 coat of the prep and 2 coats of the prime. So for today's products, I'm going to use the Tammy Taylor collection. The nail bed color is P3 and the white is Dramatic White. So I'm just going to grab a bead and use that to start my outline for the smile line. Now it doesn't have to be perfect because I'm going to use the smile line cutter to perfect the shape. With the smile line cutter, you want to size it up so that way it fits your nail perfectly, so it's not crooked, and you want to cut when the acrylic is still a little bit pliable, so you don't want it to be completely set because it won't move. And then you just press down and pull it away from your finger, and it should leave you with a sharp, crisp line. Once I have that completed, I'm going to go back and add my cuticle ball. So I don't use the 1 ball method. Now this still will work with the 1 ball method, so it's completely up to you. So I'm going to repeat these steps for the rest of the nails. So I'm going to apply my first bead, let that set for a little bit, and then cut it with the smile line cutter. Apply my cuticle bead, and then apply my stress bead to build up my apex, so that way I have a strong foundation. And then I'll be back when the steps change. nail bed color is completely set, I'm going to go back with an 80/80 hand file and just refine the smile line. So I refined the shape of my smile line just to make it a little bit more crisp, and I removed all of the dust from each of the nails. So I'm just going to go in with this white color, and again, this is the Tammy Taylor's Dramatic White. Now for this step, it can be a little bit messy. The goal is to bump it up as close as possible to your smile line so that way you don't have any gaps in your acrylic application. Then when you go in to file the nails, you'll reveal a perfect French tip. This is how the nails look after I have all of the white applied. So as I mentioned, it is very messy. Now we can move right into filing. So I'm just going in and separating the acrylic from my skin, and I'm using that same 80/80 grit hand file, and I'm just going to file from side wall to side wall. Now for for the fun part, so I'm just going to take my e-file with this fine carbide drill bit, and I'm going to file over the entire nail until I reveal the design left behind. So I should be left with a very crisp, clean French tip. I also wanted to mention that I am going to change out my drill bit, so instead of using the fine drill bit, I'm going to use a medium grit. Because the steps are pretty repetitive, I'm going to speed through the rest of the clips, so I'll come back when I change steps. So I'm just going to refine my shape just to make sure it's completely perfect. Shaping is one of my favorite parts of doing nails outside of just acrylic application, so I do take my time when filing. In place of a buffer, I'm going to use this large crosscut drill bit that I purchased from Atwood Industries, and I like this because it gets really close to the cuticle area, which you can't do with a normal buffing block. Now that all of the filing is complete, I'm just going to add some top coat to all of the nails, and I'm going to apply some cuticle oil after this. So these are my final results. So thank you all so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for future videos. Bye guys.